we renew this thing, then suddenly, with the lifted Christ, no longer on a cross, but raised from the dead, far above all principalities and powers, God gives the corporate agreement of Psalms 110. Stretch forth your scepter out of Zion and rule in the midst of your enemies. You begin to stretch out decrees and begin to rule over the power. We're going to enter into that right now. Folks, enter into this. Father, come, Holy Spirit. Bring us into this holy moment right now. In Jesus' name, Christine.
God, we're just standing here before you today, and we recognize, God, that it's not just the covenant from 10 years ago, God, but it's 400 years of covenant men and women who stood before you on behalf of this nation, God. God, this is our stand and our cause with you today, God. We are here to make covenant again with you. In generation, I believe God is calling us to account. For 40 years, the Israelites wandered in the desert, and a new generation was born during that 40 years, and they were required to make their own sacrifice before God before they stepped into the promised land. And I believe God is asking for us today to up our covenant, to renew and re-up and make a sacrifice that is going to count for our generation. His word says that when we break covenant, the curse lasts from 3 to 4 generations, but the blessing to those who keep his commandments is to the 1000th generation. And I believe that God uses covenant to extend mercy and protection over our nation. A covenant is the highest land, the highest law in the land, and it trumps every law that has come from the Supreme Court. It trumps every law that has come down through our Constitution. It trumps every law that has come from a House of Representatives or a Senate. It trumps it all because of the blood of Jesus Christ. And today we are lifting those covenants and crying out to God and asking him that in his mercy he would remember them for our nation, God. Remember them today, God. We're going to do this together. It's on the screen, but we're going to go through it. It's the covenant we read 10 years ago. And if you join your hearts with me today, we're just going to do this the best we can. I'm going to do it in phrases, and then if we can all repeat together, we're going to cut covenant with God today. We're going to make a sacrifice of our own.